Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the northwest, and ending with Team 2 in the southeast. Starting off with Team 1's northeastern player, kind of on his own there on the northern side of the map, we have Ryan 103 playing as a UEF. He is a 1700 again in Barbie Pink. To his west, we have in orange color orange, we have Glummo playing as a UEF. He is a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and tied for the highest rated player overall. To his southeast in emerald green, it is Silent Bug playing as a Cybern. He is an 1800. To his west in Chevy Crimson, it is Strix Inquisitor. He is a Cybern as well as a 1000 rated. And rounding out Team 1's lineup in Amethyst Purple is another Cybern. It is Brittle. He is a 1300. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 UEF and 3 Cyberns. No Aeon, no Seraphim tech for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's Southern player, we have in Forest Green, best color and faction combination in all Supreme Commanderdom. No biases here. Of course, it is the 1800 UVA player of Tantal. And again, he is in Forest Green. To his east, we have in Pac-Man Yellow. It is BRS DCCC 97. He is a UEF. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2, and tied with Glummo for the highest rated player overall. To his northwest in Ruby Red, it is Dimitri 11 playing as a UEF. He is a 1900. In Glow in the Dark Green to his east is the Aeon player of Calamity 63. He is a 1000 rated player. And to his north in Batman and Gray, it is Iceball playing as an Aeon as well. He is an 1100. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have the 1 and 2 only Aeons in the game. And everybody else on the side of the map is UEF. So no Cyberns for Team 2, as well as no Seraphim, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Seraphim players. Apologies to those who love to arrive late, but make grand entrances while they do so. Hopefully, you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 29,000 mass in reclaim, just shy of 3,000 mass per player. And there are a lot of clumps of reclaim to grab. There's a couple of thousands in the middle, 500, 750s dotted around. There's also a little bit more towards the northeast and southwestern corners. And there is a tiny smidgen, well, actually a little more than a tiny smidgen on the eastern and western edges. There are a decent amount of mexes on this map, so definitely worth fanning all of the engineers around the map. There are a couple of isolated mexes that I highly doubt that will be destroyed over the course of the match, but you know what we say about assuming and whatnot. There's also some Trimex positions on the northeast and southwestern corners as well, but the main conglomeration of mexes is in the middle, where you would expect it to be. Taking a look at Team 1 side of the map, just cutting a line straight down the middle, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 Trimex positions to grab, as well as a couple of one-offs dotted between there and their main bases. There is a huge 7-star mechs position. I mean, again, there's like this, and then there's this, and then there's that, and it's kind of all pretty close to one another. So we'll just call it a 7-star and call it good, as well as a 5-star mechs position in the east of that as well, which looks like it's going to Glummo, which I would assume he is going to be the air player for Team 1, and probably BRS is going to be the air player for Team 2. Taking a look at where players are headed off to in this game, the frontline players fanning out quite nicely. We have essentially it's equidistant mostly between the players on that front line. The only player not leaving his main base so far is BRS. Again, he's focusing on his air facilities. I would assume he's going for a lot of power, so maybe not. I am surprised he hasn't gone for air. We do see air facility over here to the east for Calamity, but I am, like I said, surprised he hasn't gone for air just yet. He probably will here shortly. I mean, being that far back, you would kind of assume, and given the fact that everybody else has moved to the middle, the likelihood is high. It is not guaranteed, of course. Team 1, we see similar situations. We do see Ryan a little bit behind on getting to the front line, but everybody else, and Glummo is appearing as well. So The only player not leaving his base for now is BRS. We do see some early skirmishes happening in the Team 1 side situation. There's a nice little scout and a Mantis. Mantis will be shot down by T1 tank there. Nice little striker. It is vetted as well. Jester inbound from Brittle, which will deal with that striker nice and quietly and not have to worry about Glummo. He's going for that little mix right there. We don't see a whole lot of movement straight down the middle. Again, there's kind of just a shotgunning of mountains in the middle of the map. It's going to make traversal with large armies very annoying. There's a little bit of a bigger avenue and aperture on the eastern and western sides, but it's going to be a very much a 1,000 cuts, I think, kind of game where, you know, you got this avenue, this avenue, this avenue. There's so many ways to enter and leave the middle of the map that it's going to be very difficult to hold or even just keep everything just together. So there's probably a lot of bleeding that will go on throughout this match. We do see gun started for Brittle on the western side. First upgrade of the match has been started. And Air Scout coming online. And we do see that air facility online for him. He's going straight for T2. I think he built maybe an interceptor. Yeah, built one interceptor. Trying to get that air facility online as quickly as possible. T2 air done for his counter of Glummo. Looks like he was trying to build 2 power generators at the same time and then realized he had to finish that one just very, very briefly before he power stalled, I would assume. T2 on the eastern side for Ice Ball. So more of a defensive upgrade on the eastern side and more of an offensive upgrade on the western side. So we should see a little bit more pushback from Team 1, especially with Glummo here to offer some support. It is technically 2v1, so that western side might collapse sooner, especially with some Jesters running around here for Brittle as well, taking advantage of the early game when there's not a lot of AA or even interceptors online to deal with said Jesters. That archer does die off, and there are more archers being built. The T1 AA unit for the UEF Jester will go home, but there are a couple of strikers that were... They just walk over? I feel like they would have killed that mech off, so yeah, maybe they would dropped off here. There is a mounting group of forces countering here for Brittle, so maybe one more T1 mechs will fall, but that's about it. Nothing too worrisome for him. I mean, a couple of mechs is annoying at a minimum, but it's not all of the main bases. It's not, you know, half of it or anything. It's just a couple of the outlying ones at a minimum. Gun started for his opponent in the west of Tantal, so his gun will be finished before he engages Brittle's commander. No com-on-com action has happened as of yet. Very, very unlikely it will never happen this match, just given, again, 5v5. It is a land map. The likelihood is very, very high. But usually it's happened by now. But, you know, some games it takes a little bit longer to get up and running. We do see Ryan pushing in a little bit more. We have T2 PD being deployed and TMD. I do love that he goes for TMD very, very quickly to counter any sort of T2 missile launcher rush. I do love that. We do see a nice little formation movement out in the east here from Calamity moving into this position. There's really nothing here to stop it. The comm is right over here. That could be a possible snipe attempt on the comm of Ryan, so he has to be a little bit careful, though. I don't know what he sees, and it does look like those forces are going to move closer. Bombers inbound. They're trying to thin the herd out just a tiny smidgen. That could be enough to help out lots of air scouts over top. This is what Team 2 can see. Tons of vision going on that side of the map. They know where the comm is, and if the bombers were targeting the AA units, that'd probably be smart, and then that way nothing can shoot at you. T1 PD is taken out. The comm of Ryan moving in to intercept personally, and that's essentially the rest of that inbound force from Calamity. Loved the attempt, but it just didn't get as far into the territory as he really wanted to, of course. Nano, surprisingly, started here for Tantal. Looks like he's taken some damage on his comm. Looks like Brittle as well, so looks like combi-com action has happened. I did not catch that. Apologies for that. But it has, I mean, the likelihood, like I said, the fact that they're both missing not the exact same amount, but roughly, it makes me think that they did engage in some combi-com action there. T3 air is done for Team 2, and T3 air is done for Team 1. Will we see a possible secondary air player maybe outbound from Strix, maybe? And for Team 2, nothing as of yet in T2 air technology for anybody else. So maybe secondary air player. I don't know if this is the map you want to go to air players with 5 players in the game. We do see more combi come action between Tentel and Riddle. We do see TMD being built and pillars also being deployed. A couple of parashields to help protect the comm. Riddle falling into the yellow, and Tentel going to fall right now. And then he's back up into the green, back into the yellow, back into the green, back into the yellow. And that force will, I think, go Team 2's way just because that comm with Nano is leading the charge. And he's going to, again, take some damage, but he's going to get some veterancy back, and he should be perfectly fine. I'm just making sure that nothing crazy is happening. A couple of bombers raiding the eastern side here for Team 2, but that's, again, maybe a couple of T2 mechs is taken out, maybe, and that's about it. Riddle receiving a ton of damage here. Really trying to blitz down that comm. Again, there's a lot of pillars just training in on Brittle's chest plate there, and not looking good. Overcharge does kill off another pillar that gives him halfway to 1 star. Tentel is at 1 star, and that is the benefit of focusing on the units instead of the comm, is you get veterancy a lot quicker because you're not doing damage to a giant health pool. You're doing damage to, 1,500, 200, 400 plus-ish hit points, so it's a lot easier to get that veterancy up and running. But both comms do fall back. Tentel almost back up into the green, and Brittle is going to be about halfway there here shortly. He'll probably go for stealth, and the Nano probably shouldn't build it there because I feel like he's going to get rushed, especially with the comm with the Nano on board. So I feel like falling back maybe to these facilities here, just a little bit more protection. He does have T2 tech online in terms of radar, so he is aware where the comm is, so he could take that risk and just go for stealth and then think about maybe moving for Nano depending. But I do think staying there long term for an upgrade, probably not the best idea. Unless he gets some more forces, a lot more forces online. We do see that Tentel is re-pushing. Eastern side, we see a little bit more movement from Iceball, getting a little bit closer to the middle. And middle, speaking of which, lots of forces just stacking up for Team 2. Team 1, not as much from Strix. I wonder if he is going for T3. No, he's not going for T3 air. So we'll, is he going for T3? He's going for T3 land. Okay, that would make more sense. T3 land starting to make its appearance in this game. Missiles outbound from Team 2, hitting that little T2 mechs there. Nice grab there from, I would assume, would be Calamity. He does have sensor package in T2 on board, but no missile, of course, because he's Aeon. Don't see the missile launcher, but it did come from the... Oh, came over here, maybe? It's inbound from Iceball, is what it looks like. Still just constant back and forth. Lots of reclaim here. Both teams grabbing it very, very quickly. In terms of eco, Team 1 is winning so far at about 75 or so ahead. So it's about 15 mass per player ahead for Team 1. Nothing too crazy. But we do see that Team 2 is starting to catch up just a little bit more as those T2 ringing and T3 mechs upgrades come online. Another missile outbound from Iceball's position. Already killed off 3,400 mass with that thing, doing a very, very good job of just punishing Team 1. We do see Team D built very, very quickly over there, and that should be the case for a lot of other places here shortly. Stealth has been started on board Brittle's comm again. He has to be careful at this point. He is pretty brittle. There's the joke there. I knew, you probably knew I was going to say it at some point, but has to be careful. He could be the first departed of the game. He stays there too long, and we do see a nice little grouping of pillars with a nice little assisting shield inbound. And Tentel will take the approach. He's back up to full HP. He will probably see the comm right now, and he'll probably focus that down. And of course, if you're familiar with upgrades for Cybern tendencies, he already has the gun on board. So he's probably going for stealth next, if he doesn't already have it, going for Nano. We do see a counter from some Rhinos, but again, the Nano is just really overpowering a lot of the damage being done by Team 1, and he's getting some PD creep a little bit here, so it does help supporting the movement in Team 2's direction. Maybe the upgrade will finish for Brittle, but I definitely would not stand there going for Nano. Western side column continuing to push, and this is doing very, very well here for Team 2's Tantal. Really wiping out, again, more mexes. Could easily hook just right and kill off all of these mexes for Brittle. And it looks like maybe he heard me through the ether or something, because he does just that. So nice grab there by him. Nano has been started for Brittle. I don't like the placement of that. I feel like it's just not in a good position at all. Not even under a shield or anything. He has one tickle cannon, and that's not really going to stop the comp. The comp will fall back, but I feel like that's a missed opportunity to try to wipe out the upgrade, or at least stop the upgrade at a minimum. We do see another T2 Mex is down here for Brittle. He's lost 3 of his 4 or 5? 4 of his 5 core Mexes. He is going to lose all 5. Very brutal for the western side for Team 1. Team 1 still leading the mass income game, but not looking good on the western side. The only player below 100 is Brittle, again, due to the just mass assassination that happened. And not a lot of movement in the middle here for Team 1 or Team 2 as of yet. I don't expect there to be a whole lot. Maybe when experimentals start to be the main stage unit. Maybe, but again, some of these avenues, some of these apertures are just not very conducive for crabs. Or Fat Boy is not as bad. Depends on how tall these things are. They're not terribly tall, but there are a few that you'd good luck trying to shoot over that thing. Nano over 33% done. And the pillars are just running amok for Brittle. Not looking good. I know he wants to keep the front line, but he might just have to fall back. I mean, that's 5 dead mexes there. That's another 5 dead mexes there. That's 10 mexes dead. I mean, if you count these, 13, 14. And then he had these, 15, 16. Losing a ton of mass. Looks like BRS had to leave for a second. And I think that's almost an entire wiping out of Brittle's income. 21 and falling. There's another T2 Mex there. There's another one there, so that's 12 mass. That's more than half of his current mass. Of course, he's producing 1 mass on board his comm and then 2 mass there. And he's going to have a hard time upgrading that thing because he just does not have any income at this point. He doesn't really have a lot of units building, of course, because he doesn't have the mass. And perfect time to attack for Tantal. Now we see the pillars running amok. Actually, they're not pillars anymore. They are Riptides running amok here for Team 2's Tantal going after, looks like, what is that, Strikes? Or Strix's income. So it's just wiping out all of that on the western side. It's going to go Team 2's way here shortly. T3 land is online. And soon those Perseus will make an appearance, and that is going to be a dead front line if Team 1 doesn't try to fortify those walls here shortly with maybe some mobile brick walls. Eastern side, a couple of gunships stacking up. That's a little bit concerning for comms for Team 2, but as long as there is adequate AA protection, nothing too crazy. Lots of PD, lots of TMD. Obviously, the missile launcher's still here, and just making sure that his comm is nice and protected. There is some SACUs over here from Team 2's Dimitri, so he's getting those online very early. And those are the Rambo ones running amok over there. What is his eco looking at? 300. BRS is at 300 as well. So he's doing very, very well for himself this early in the game. Just going. Is that the shield? Is that the Rambo upgrade logo? I think that's the Rambo one. So it does have shield on board. Shield, gun, and then the whatever the other one's called. Nano repair 75%. I am very surprised that the upgrade is A, still going, and B, Team 2 hasn't launched an assault, essentially denying the upgrade. So I think it's just the same thing, but I am surprised it's still going. Starting T3 says BRS. Of course, that's just an automated message. Air grid looking nice and expanded. I do love the bifurcation, the decentralization of the air grid. No one big giant cascade. That can happen very isolated. I do like the very pretty nature of this one. That is very explosive. So yeah, it's pretty to look at, but one artillery piece and boom, it's dead. It's gone. See ya, bye, kind of thing. And we do see now the upgrade is done and the attack has commenced. Tantal using formation movement to keep the shields over top and around the Perseus and other units. Lovely move there, and the full retreat is inbound for BRS. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss any sort of explosions or anything like that, because I have a tendency to do that. But everybody that did comment down below, I really do appreciate the fact that you like the cut-ins that I did with the kill cams. I initially wanted to do it over the mini-map, but I'm like, nah. I mean, the scoreboard can go away for a minute, and it's not really going to be a big deal. So, and it's a decent size as well, so I figured that should be enough. So, again, if there's any other tweaks to that for the kill cams, let me know, just so that I can keep improving. That is my goal, is to make the best content as possible, and of course to compensate for me missing a kill. I will, of course, add those kill cams nonetheless. That will be the norm from now on, essentially. Shield started here for Tantal, still going online. Silent Bug finished his experimental. He is Cybran. It is a monkey. Would be very surprised if it was a crab, but sometimes people go for crab first. We do see the frontline base in the northeast. Missile coming online. Ravagers coming online. AA coming online. And that missile, I would assume, is going to go after this stuff over here, which it looks like it already has. TMD has been built to counter it. T2 artillery being built to deny any movement, but we'll see about that. Gunships inbound to assist the front lines from Glummo. Doing very well in helping out a little bit. They are Stingers. They're very spammable, but they are not known for their damage like their bigger and very more annoying brothers of the broadswords. I feel like they could have easily just made that. Is it Sting? Is that the name of the like very short sword in Lord of the Rings? Is it Sting? I think it's Sting. I think it's the one that Frodo has that glows. Anyway, I feel like there could have been a reference to that. Maybe Stinger and broadsword having a long sword. Maybe the whatever the sword is called that Aragorn gets at the end of the third film, or towards the half-ish part of the third film. Anyway, eastern side, Colossus leading the charge, assisted by a ton of T1 spam. More Stingers inbound from Ryan. So lots of T2 gunships, and they are the UEF tech here for Team 1, trying to just help out as best they can. And Flak is definitely going to be the focus, taking those things out immediately. There are a lot of Percys here. Unfortunately, not the greatest unit in this case, because there's a lot of spam, a way more overkill they ever need ever. Titans, I think, would be a better fit. You know, the shielding, it doesn't do hull plating damage initially, so you can regen that. You don't really have to worry about, you know, your units are at 50%, 25% hit points. The shield, I mean, it does count towards the total, but it's a lot easier to recharge the shielding than it is to repair the unit unless it gets veterancy. Lots of units starting to move eastward here for Silent Bug. And the forces in the middle for Strix and for Dimitri 11 are just sitting there hanging out, just kind of waving at one another. Maybe they'll call a ceasefire or something and play some football. Eastern side, looks like the attack does stop a little bit. That amount of Percys is very concerning for that Galactic Colossus. Very much a can be one-tap scenario, and that might not be the good idea to send that in. Pings do go down. Monkey going to go west around it, and it looks like the Colossus is actually going to steer away, and that gives an opportunity for the Perseus to come in from behind it, and that is going to be a sandwich. That's a hook maneuver if I've ever seen one, and that's going to be a kill on that Colossus. A lot of bricks will die. The monkey, oh no, that monkey's not going to die. Look at all the shots raining in from Team 1's Perseus. There they go, and annihilate that thing. That thing did not stand a chance. Attack inbound from Tantal. It does not go after Brittle's side. It goes straight northeast, going after the forces here for Strix. And we do see a couple of forces from Dimitri pushing west to assist as well. But he's focused on Fat Boy production and, of course, SSU production in terms of the Rambo sets. Air grid expansion, of course, still going on. SMD built in the backline here. I do love the SMD there as a backup just in case, but I would love to see one maybe in the middle, maybe at his frontline position, or maybe even at Dimitri 11's to maybe help cover the air position as well, just in case, because you never know, some sneaky person might build a nuke very, very quickly, and there goes the air grid being protected by an SMD. Love to see that. Again, same situation, but we do see another SMD here, so I do like that there is a backup just in case. Always have a backup just in case, because we have seen plenty of matches where somebody builds a game ender, their front line or their midline SMD goes down, somebody has a nuke, and the SMD is not present for the game ender, and the other team wins. It is unfortunate when it happens, but it does happen nonetheless. That is my PSA for the match. It's back up SMD and obviously build shields all day, every day, non-stop. Percy's will be stopped here by Team 2's forces. The Colossus sucking up a couple of them at a time. There's also those SACUs over here at 43,000 hit points. They do have XMC, so it's a little bit higher than initially when they're produced. But the Colossus does die. The Monkey dies. Team 1 did get that little bit of reclaim up there. I feel like maybe they could have held off. Icebill built the second Colossus to defend, did its job, and they will get that. So net, I think Team 1 gets a tiny portion more, but a lot of Percys did die in that mix. There is a lot of reclaim, and again, a portion of that is Team 2's Rex, a portion of that is Team 1's Rex. So I think it evens out for the most part, but I do think it maybe slightly favors Team 1, maybe, possibly, maybe. 26 minutes on the clock. Team 1 and Team 2 have not lost a player yet, so knock on wood there. We do see an interesting amount of AA being deployed underneath the surface of the water here for Team 2's is Dimitri 11. I'm assuming he transported those over. Yep, definitely transported those over. So take that into consideration with who you think is going to win this game at 26 minutes. Again, either situations, Team 1, Team 2, relatively close to one another, but Team 2 has started to pull ahead 2,000 versus 1.9, 1.8. So let's just say an even 115, call it a day in favor of Team 1. Thank you so much for watching to this point in the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the rest of it. If you have enjoyed it up to this point, please let me know by hitting the like button, commenting, subscribing, doing all the YouTube things that YouTube loves to see to help promote the channel and spread the glory that is Forged Alliance forever. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for enjoying. And let's get back on into it. And hopefully you're enjoying your weekend or whatever day you end up watching this. Hopefully you're enjoying your day. My internet is actually down today, the day of that I'm recording this video. So I'm using my I use my hotspot to get access to the server for the replays and whatnot. So that's been interesting. So there's a tech coming out tomorrow to fix my... they're doing some construction work or something a couple blocks down, and they might have nicked my line, which is entirely possible. Satellite over the top for Team 1. That's an early satellite, 27 minutes. SMD is the target. Lovely grab there from Ryan. Maybe he'll build a nuke. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's just faking Team 2 out. But, satellite sad, says Icebill. I mean, I get it. People don't like it. I get it. I really do. It is a really, really useful tool when you're on the, the one deploying the satellite, the one on the receiving end. Not as much fun. And my highest viewed video on the channel so far as of the recording of this video is literally a picture of a guy that has like a dozen satellite installations. That match, I think, had like 20-something satellites in it. It was insane. Insane amount of satellites. So many of them flying around the map. That game was nuts. That was an early game, too, of mine. It was like 100, 150, something like that. Western side, T2 cruiser spam with shielding support. Nice grab there, and essentially saying, hey, we are just going to control that side of the map, and you're not going to stop us, is what that means. Could maybe be countered by some bricks or something in the water, just slowly picking at all that stuff. And Monkey on the eastern side, once again, there's really not a whole lot to defend this time. A lot of T3 mobile artillery, these Serenities, and they're helping out a tiny bit, but not that much. Because the units, again, keep moving. If there was a big conga line, that'd be different. ASF stacking up quite nicely for both air players. Do you think Team 1 has it? Just given the volume that I see, 260 versus 190. So a little bit in favor. That does come down to maybe one GER turn. It is UEF versus UEF, so no faction advantages there. Flying over anti-air does not help Team 1, so they're going to fall back for now. We do see a lot of other AA emplacements just in case Team 2 loses there, so I do love to see that from Tantal. I mean, there's not a whole lot of them, but it's, again, something it prevents, passive spy planning and that sort of thing. SACUs have left their watery comforts and decided to sit on the lane. Brittle is just getting absolutely ripped apart this game. First it was the pillars, and then it was the, what are they called? Not rhinos. What are they called? Shoot. Riptides. But now we see some bugs inbound to try to thin out the numbers here for these SACUs. We already see some of them already deployed. Strap bombers inbound to help thin out the numbers as well. Get nice AoE spread there. But again, the shields are pretty strong, 26,000 shield capacity. And they also EMP those SACUs as well. But, I mean, there's a lot of strap bombers being devoted to this. There's another one down, and soon to be another one down. This one almost is dead, 3,200 hit points remaining. But it's going to be a tall order to deal with that. We have T3 being built on board Ice Balls come on the eastern side. Megawith down the middle. Maybe Monkey will accompany at FAF Boy on the eastern side as well. Is there another satellite? There is another sat being deployed. Why why no shielding? Why no shielding? And the base for Brittle is not doing well. No, this would be a good opportunity for having the laser on board. And I feel like, ooh, is this the first departure of the game? Maybe, possibly, maybe. Brittle losing hit points very quickly, dropping below 3,000. Will he get out of there? AoE, I don't think he, oh, he might get out 300, 400 hit points. Ooh, that's where that stealth upgrade is really coming in handy. But not good here for Team 1. That western side is getting very, very infected would be probably the way that I put that, and it's festering and getting worse. Team 2 building any big spicier things in the background. Lots of air grids planned here for BRS users. Just like, that's my job. I'm going to play air. We even see Tantel getting into the air as well. And artillery has been started for Team 2's Dimitri 11. He has his own satellite, so UEF going to be UEF doing UEF things to counter UEF doing UEF things. There we go. Try to say that 10 times fast. Yeah, that was hard for me to even come up with to begin with. Anyway, satellite over top still running amok in Ice Ball's base. We have SACUs on the eastern side now deployed by Dimitri to help assist. And yeah, these should be enough. I think one maybe would be enough. If all the Perseus were in range, then maybe they kill one off, but the eastern front not looking terribly good for Team 2. The western front, of course, like I mentioned, it's not going well. We do see Brittle is back up into the half yellows. We do see a crab over here. Now that should be more than plenty to deal with this. I do love the fact that Brittle's not giving up. He's not, leaving the match or anything. He's doing his best to assist. One SACU is down, and we see the bulwark coming into range a little bit to help protect the evacuation of said SACUs. They're not leaving there. Those things are dead one way or the other over there. They're not leaving. Either they win and they survive, or they die. They're not going home. It's not necessarily a suicide mission, but it's you're not coming home from this mission kind of thing. Satellite moving to the south, going after the satellite here for Team 2's Dimitri. It looks like only one person in this game can have satellites, maybe. And now we see shielding deployed above the satellites and around them. So, again, a little bit late to the party maybe on that front, but at least he recovered nonetheless. And lots of ASFs stacking up to protect that mechs, it looks like. Don't know what that's about, but okay. Grab and calm of Brittle. He's kind of getting stepped on a little bit there. Pushing back against this base. Maybe the SACUs can maybe walk. Maybe. But like I said, I don't think they're planning on leaving anytime soon. Eastern side not looking too hot. The Perseus do make it to some sort of base here for Calamity. There are some Harbingers trying to chase them down. The SMD would be a great grab there. It's already 2 loaded Colossus being built now. There is no backup SMD on the eastern side, so that would be a really, really nice grab. It really opens the floor plan there if an entire base just goes up in flames, or up in holy fire would probably be a more aptly named thing there. A couple of Perseus still remain, targeting some mass fat. Was that not T2P gentlemen? But they are dead nonetheless. Shield goes down. But that is it. Satellite still is fine for now. Dimitri hanging out. He has taken a lot of damage, so it looks like he was lasered right here, it looks like. So we did get underneath some shield coverage. Now we see the mexes being assassinated by the satellites. That is probably the best, one of the best things you can use the satellite for, is just assassinating every single exposed T2, T3, T1 mechs you can find. Because that's a lot of income, and it's going to take a while to get back there. And you can deny it constantly by just lasering the engineers that come to say hi. So Really, really good use there of technology. Team 1, do you have any other plans for wiping out Team 1? It is 33 minutes. You got about thinking how to end the game. Another monkey, another monkey, another monkey, another monkey. Pigeons, shielding, all that stuff. Satellite number 3 has been started, or at least thought about started. But that is it. Eastern side, Fat Boy survives for Team 2. Fat Boy does not for Team 1. Lots of bricks. Over here, there's 2 crabs and a monkey. Team 2 has a Fat Boy and 1 GC, soon to be 2. In terms of range, Team 1 wins it, but in terms of fire, well, the 1 Fat Boy is not going to be enough to stop the push, but I don't know. Not looking too hot. There is also 1, 2, 3 monkeys inbound as well, so that might be a good opportunity to maybe sneak around and go for that Fat Boy that's right there. Team 2 has an Omni right there, so they see it. Team 1 sees it as well, so there it is. We have SMD, but AA, I can't even talk right. The bomber inbound takes out 10 T2 artillery emplacements. Nice grab there. Even if the bomber gets wiped out, that's a ton of mass that Team 2 loses out on, because it's 10 of them times 800. That's 8,000 mass, and that bomber costs a lot less than that. So nice efficiency there. Crab is inbound going after SACUs. Fat Boy should probably fall back here shortly. And this is where that nonsense of the environment does help Team 2, as it kind of breaks up a little bit of that front line. Ravagers being pumping out shots constantly. Looks like maybe T1 or T2 bombers over top. Maybe T1, I would imagine. Those don't look like strats. And the attack will continue to commence. But again, 1, 2, 3 monkeys, 1 GC. Maybe that monkey dies, maybe, but not by much. And there goes the dead Colossus. There should be a new one built right there. Bricks are inbound. Monkeys are inbound. There's a lot of bricks inbound. Anything else crazy happening over on the western side? No. First monkey is dead. Of course, the Megalith will retrain onto the GC. All this is going to be a stalling tactic. We even see the satellites coming into play to help assist. It's a lovely assist there from Ryan with the satellites, just taking out Ravagers, taking out anything annoying. Crab is down, but there's still 1 to be remaining, and a monkey dies as well. So 1, 2 monkeys remain. The Fat Boy does make it out of dodge, but this eastern front is pretty much going to be cleaved away from Team 2's control. And you have to take control. That's, if you haven't played that game, Control, such a fun game. Oh, I think one of my favorite games that came out last 3-4 years was Control. Such a good game. Explosion to the western side. That is an SACU, so no, I did not miss a comm kill. Cloaking inbound, coming on board, Brittles come, and artillery raining in on the base, which we would expect, because you might as well take out the air while you can, or at least try to take it out while you can. SACU's not really, they're acting as bullet sponges at this point. Satellite's really honing in on that Fat Boy. The Fat Boy shielding is now down. The monkey, though, is down, so it helped out a lot. There's still some defenses over here, a couple to T2 PD, but Team 1 is making just an attempt to just cleave the entire eastern half away from the western side. The satellites retrained now on the artillery piece that's been shooting at the air player for Team 1, Glummo. Grab will die to the Fat Boy. And now this base has gone monkey coming in. Look at the devastation for Team 2. Again, this is a lot of reclaim for Team 2 to get eventually, but it's still a lot of damage, a lot of dead mexes. Team 1 now at 2.7 to 2.4, so that they now have the lead in eco. Is that a second artillery piece done for Team 2? It is a second artillery piece. Tantal has a second artillery piece online, and a third one online for... Wow. So all the UEF players build artillery pieces. Now they just have to all build satellites. Don't all try to build a Mayweather, please, as much as I love to see it. Just 3 players build 1. Not 3 players build 3, please. That'd be a good place to put something back here. Lots of E-storage, so maybe not. But maybe something, maybe. Not seeing any game enders yet emerging. And now we have SACUs being wiped out. Bricks still pushing in. Second Fat Boy online. This one almost has his shield back up. 72,000 mass kill with that thing. Done a very good job with that. Dimitri 11 also doing a very good job of keeping his team alive with those SACUs. And again, caused a huge annoyance for Brittle with them as well. And that monkey load will die before it gets in range of that FAF boy. And that is the benefit of the FAF boy. It can fire while it's moving backwards. Or, sorry, it can fire backwards while it's moving. And that FAF boy is now online. Number 3 is done. And the attack essentially is done. We even see the forces from Tantal to assist. And we see that Crab is going to get caught in the little ambush there. And that's going to be a kill for Team 2. Lots of reclaim scoop up currently sitting at, I'd say, about 300 plus thousand mass. Oh no, 400,000 plus mass. So tons of mass to build a game ender with. Team 1 building another satellite. That's number 4. Ooh, the artillery has started to cleave away at the air grid. And yeah, not looking too hot. Using transport to try to block some of the shots isn't really working out so far for Team 1. And with 3 FAF boys, the attack in the middle is going to be stopped. Looks like Dimitri 11 now has control of the ASF. Don't know what ERS is up to. Maybe he had to go or something. But he gave him over to Dimitri to Micro. Eastern side, Team 2 getting a semblance of normalcy back. But look at the huge amount of stuff going on. I don't know. I get that they wanted to just go for Dimitri 11 because he had satellite and artillery and stuff. But they could have essentially wiped out Calamity if they really wanted to. Just the attack is not going to happen. Bombers over the top going to get wiped out immediately. I don't think it's needed. You have 3 FAF boys here. Might as well save those strats for a snipe on somebody or just trying to do something else. Satellite, speaking of which, being wiped out. Ooh, artillery came right very close to no being out that center. That satellite station. The artillery, I think, is just a little bit more than these shields can handle for now. It does give Glummo a break, though. Corsair is inbound. They're going for the Eastern FAF boy. That's the one that doesn't have as much veterancy. This one has 5. This one has 1. And they will wipe out pretty much the shield, but not the actual FAF boy hull plating, or at least all of it. Strap bombers again making their play go after bricks, but again, I don't see the point. They wipe out 3 of them, but for 4 bombers, that's not worth the effort or mass or anything. My 2 cents, of course, on that front. This satellites, oh, this one's almost done. Literally like 95, 96%. And of course, the generator is being targeted. Ooh, engineers being wiped out. Ooh, needs to finish that satellite. Needs to get the shielding back online. Looks like they did lose one of them. So now they're down. Actually, no, I don't know what that is. Looks like maybe a P-gen. That's what the satellite is. As I sit there and stare at the screen because I'm blind. Satellite done here for team. Actually, 2 satellites done for Team 1's Glummo. So we have 5 satellites online for Team 1. Thought I saw an explosion. That freaked me out for a second. Second artillery done for Tantal. Second artillery started here for Dimitri 11. Second artillery coming online here for BRS. Once the second set of artilleries come online for each player, unless Team 1 has some other grand plan, that's probably game. As much as the land engagements, all that stuff is fun to cast, those 6 artillery pieces will be more than enough to wipe out anything on the map, unless you have, infinite energy to pump into shielding. Number 4 satellite is done, but again, it's barely staying online. More of those generators coming offline. The satellite has a small window. It's probably going to target either this one or this one, one of the weaker ones. Ooh, the shielding blocks most of the damage. It's really, really back and forth there. All of Ryan's focus is going to be just on the shield micro. So this eastern side is going to actually deteriorate just a little bit. Move trans, Glummo. Give them to me maybe for drops. I mean, that maybe could work, but lots of ASFs plus 4 FAF boys. I don't know. I don't know if that's really worth it. Artillery is done for Dimitri 11. Artillery is almost done for Tantal. Artillery is almost done. Third one already primed, started, ready to go. This air grid is down almost. T3 air record is definitely would be a nice target. Novaks, kill GCs, please, says Silent Bug. I don't know if they can afford to. And it looks like 2 of these satellites are gone due to, of course, artillery and satellite pressure. There's 2 more over here, of course. So there was 6. There's now, there's 3 now because Team 1's Brian just lost another one. Laser has been started for Brittle. He has cloaking on board. I don't understand that. Team 2 had Omni. They probably built a new... Well, they probably did. Oh, they did, but... So, walking up's not really going to work. Ooh, how the power conservation here for Ryan. Not terrible. A couple more P-gens gone, and that is going to be an end of the air grid. End of the shield grid here for him. Satellite retasked on the grabbing that GC 81,000 and climbing, 27,000 and climbing, 100,000 mass between the two of them killed off. 2, 2, and 2. And that's 6 artillery pieces if they're training on the same target, which looks like most of them are. That is a dead, whatever the heck they're pointing at. You attack here and here, says Ryan. And those fat boys pushing westward, they're going to wipe out a monkey almost instantaneously. Second monkey is gone, and that is... It's just not going to work. There's just too much defenses and artillery online. Team 1 needs a big play. Essentially wiping out maybe 2 sections or 2 sets of artillery would be enough. Because 4 is still a lot to deal with. And this base for Ryan is essentially dead. There's nothing left here besides P-gens and shielding and maybe some mass extractors. And there's really nothing going on here for Team 1 up there. Nothing going on. Oh, there's 1 artillery piece, almost done. But 1 against 6 is not going to be enough as well. T3 air quarters is still alive. There's also a backup one. I didn't even see that. So lovely backup there. Monkey, 1, 2 of them survived. 3 of them dead. Bricks inbound. This could be the last maybe attempt on land. Don't be upset. I didn't kill the entire team with my push. We would have if you helped. When you pushed, says Ryan. I know he was helping earlier. So I don't think so. I think there was just too much still here for Team 2. Meet 11 getting repaired. Has shield on board just in case. Artillery now tasked onto the air grid for Team 1. Look at all the transports up there. And that is a dead base. And I think at this point, we kind of know what's going to happen. Again, crazier things have happened, but 5 Fat Boys, SACUs, 6, 7 artillery pieces online. Yeah, not super great. A little bit of assault. And Team 1's player of Silent Buck gets sniped by artillery piece with some, I think, P-gen assistance there. So first kill of the game goes to Team 2's Tantal at 43 minutes. And I think those were spy planes, I guess. Nice. Grab their unicap breach for somebody. Nuke says, does somebody have a nuke here for Team 1? Yes, there is. Ryan, it's not loaded yet, but I feel like Team 2 is going to target that here in about a couple seconds. And not going well. Ooh, yeah, just satellites not going well for Team 1. Explosion happens somewhere. Looks like another SACU dies somewhere. And we have Ryan gaining control of Silent Bug stuff. Transport moving somewhere here for Team 1's Brittle. It will be spotted by those spy planes. So Team 2, if they're paying attention, will see the comm on a transport. It'll go away, but they'll see the transport still. We'll see if they keep track of that. There's also a nuke over here to the west, just newly built here for Brittle as well. So we have 2 nukes online for Team 1. Nothing loaded, but still online. SMDs, of course, are going to be a focus. And an explosion to the northeast wipes out the... Actually, that's Ryan just control K-ing, so... Is that a legitimate control K? There's no P-gens next to him, so that's a legitimate control K, it looks like. Oh, yeah. He wasn't on a transport, it looks like. No. So, that is a 3v5 still in favor of Team 2. And we have Brittle over here to the west. He's dropped off. Again, all it's going to take is an Omni, and there's one right there. Once he crosses essentially where that radar system is, that is not going to work out for him. Yeah, he definitely died to control K. I mean, there were transports nearby, but that's where the nuke was as well. Maybe he did die to the nuke explosion. But anyway, yeah, he was kind of close to it, to be fair. Yeah. So, no, it wasn't an actual control K. I'll scratch that off the record, but because the system doesn't understand the concept of volatile explosion kills, just because they're like, well, he randomly died. We don't know why. Maybe it's control K. Yeah, anyway. But That's how he died. So whoever got the artillery shot, that's another kill technically for them, but it counted as a control K nonetheless. Yeah, 5+ Fat Boys. You got 6 of them, 7 of them. Good luck with that. And explosion in the east. Another SACU dies. And it's just a slow demise. And it's picking up speed, though, here. So it's not going to be much longer. Lots of orange, of course, under the control of Glummo. Why didn't we target artillery with sats? And Brittle taking out some T3 mexes. If that's spotted by Team Teal, they'll take them out very quickly. 4 satellites are done for Team 2's BRS. We have 3 here for Dimitri, and we have 2 here for Tantal. So that is 9 artillery pieces, almost double digits, unless somebody built an artillery piece somewhere else, which they did not. And that's not going to matter. Unless there's something. Oh, I mean, probably a little too late to the party there, but that is awesome to see. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, there he is. Excuse me. I should say that's where he is. If I had 100 Percy's and 2 to 5 Fat Boys and Rambo made by him, we would have wiped the map. I wouldn't know about wiping, but definitely would have done a lot more work for sure. 2 monkeys are not gonna even matter. 6 Fat Boys is an absolute metric. 7, 8 Fat Boys. They're just copycatting one another. One builds artillery, one builds artillery, one builds satellite, another one builds satellite, one builds Fat Boy, all the other ones build Fat Boy. It's just funny to watch sometimes. Well, how's that? Oh yeah, it's not. There's no way. Team 2 is gonna notice it at some point, and it's just not gonna. It's not gonna go well. Again, if they started it maybe 10 minutes ago, it would be an entire different situation. That maybe would have wiped out one of the bases, if not 2 of them by now. But there's just not much left. And Brittle control K's over there to the west. He kind of knows it's not really gonna work. So he quits, and then it's now a 2v5 in favor of Team 2. And that. It's like I said, it's just not really working out. I like how I had +5, but it's only going at +1. There's no point in having it at +5 at this point. And artillery's still going, but slowly. It's going to be a while before that thing's done, and Team 2 is almost done carving out the main bases for both him and Silent Bug is gone. The base over here to the west, that artillery piece that was being built is gone. And the nuke over here was gone. All the pretty things are broken is what Team 2's focus is. There's 5 SMDs here, but no nuke, which for Team 2, which I think is just that is a situation that is way overkill. Again, backups, like I said in the beginning part of the video, are really nice, but there's such a thing as there's too much backups. There's too many of them. There's just too many of them. How is that? Maybe we're doing 18% in climbing. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's going to work. Once Team 2 spots it, it should be dead. And artillery from Dimitri at least can reach it. I would assume BRS can reach it. No, BRS can't reach it. What about Tantal? Can Tantal reach it? No. So only these 3 from Dimitri can reach it. But at that point, I don't think they need to worry about it. There's no shielding around it. It's going to take 1 shot. And that's it. Maybe if it gets closer to finish, maybe 2 or 3. But right now, it's only going to take 1. And that is the pretty much end of this base here for Glummo. And there's not that much left. 49 minutes and climbing. And Fat Boys are pushing. SACU support power is down for a moment, I guess, for those things. But looks like he's fixing it now. 9 artillery pieces is insane. Oh no, why not build them? Why not? Not only is Team 2 building one, because why not, but they've also almost surpassed the one built by building by Glummo. So we'll see double digits, maybe, possibly, maybe, but I highly doubt it. More satellites being built. Like I said, UEF doing UEF things. Got to love it. So many stuff. The world is not enough. There goes an explosion. SACU's died. Looks like Team 2 has spotted the Mavor, and Glummo and Strix retreat. That is the game here, folks. Team 2 wins it at 50 minutes on the clock. MVP for me. I mean, anybody who built artillery. Oh, there's a salvation over here. Look at that. Hey, look at that. So kind of a game ender built over there. Didn't even notice that built or being built, but didn't even matter anyway. But that's the game here, folks. I do think I have a pick for MVP, and I think that's Dimitri. He did a very good job with the SACUs, both in the Northeast, definitely in the Southwest. We did have Tantau pushing on Umberto as well, which was good. But the move by Dimitri 11 locking out this water right here and just being very annoying for 5-10 minutes was great. Fatboy definitely saved the eastern side. I mean, granted, a lot of it did die, but at least, you know, essentially the Fatboy did a lot of continual damage. And then just push Fatboys on ground and win. Looks like one of them died, but it wasn't going to matter at that point. So I think Dimitri 11 gets it. So let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.